Like.
A little bit of nervous Nellies. All right, so photo shoot ready. Physique update. Week number 3, Kelly. Look at this. She's a lean, mean machine already. We've had a bit of a talk about stats, scales. So I'm going to run through sort of what the week's been today, some challenges and social settings and a few other things. So current stats, so since the 4th of September, and you've also got to understand it's different where Kelly was in her starting position as to someone who needs to lose 10, 15 kilos. So it's really sort of totally dialing things in and fine tuning. So one, we're a kilo down. So Kelly, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, no, I'm feeling good when we put the stats.
Well, we definitely felt good when we were looking in the mirror just before, having a little look at all the lumps and bumps. So tell me, like, as in how, even though you know that it's not about the whole scales and weight loss for you, because obviously the amount of muscle you've got, you haven't got as much to lose as maybe a woman who is starting her weight loss journey as such, because your sort of set point muscular density and body fat, you're in a hell of a lot better position than normal. How's the scale still playing with your head?
I guess not seeing those big drops, because I've got after 3 weeks only seeing 1 kilo is, you want the progress to happen a lot quicker, but obviously when Adam reinforces to me, I've only got 3 to 4 kilos to lose anyway. It's going to go to a process.
Absolutely, and it's, I mean, unfortunately, no matter what we even say to each other and understand about the scales, you've got to treat it as an emotionless number as well. And another thing that can affect scales considerably is if you eat off point or something different that your body's not used to processing. And the thing that I really commend you on lately is ever since you sort of dialed it in, your food prep, your consistency, not buying certain snacks, which we'll touch on in a minute. But you know, there was on the weekend when you're in a social environment, you did the best you could, but we don't know whether that's affected the scales as well. So it's very different when you're dealing with someone who only needs to lose a couple of kilos as to someone who is going to be getting big numbers, and thinking that the scales are that only form of measure, which I'm really happy that Kel did her photos when she first started. And not only that, every time I chat to her and we have a look at her physique, there's something that's changed. So I suppose the best thing about the journey today is always having those stats over and above the scales, and we did touch on that last week. So
exactly right. If the measurements are down, so that reassures me things are happening.
With Kel, just to give you an idea, last time we did a diet cycle, she's nearly down to those numbers measurement wise, but she's holding a lot more muscle. So it's a hard one, because when you're so used to looking at those scales.
And being female, I think we focus so much on that scale and that number, and that can mess with your head. But
absolutely.
To take the numbers into consideration definitely makes it positive.
Stats, photos, measurements. We're going to get Kel doing a DEXA as well, so just as much sort of data as we can utilise. It'd be a bit different if I saw every week Kel's numbers going up, weight, then we've definitely got a problem. We've got to start seeing what she's putting in the shopping trolley. Waist is down, hips are down. Current cals were around that 1700 cals. How are you feeling on a day-to-day basis as far as hunger, energy, performance in the gym?
Still feeling pretty good. Obviously getting a lot more hungrier throughout the day, but trying to,
is there anything that you do or that you can recommend in relation to that, what you're doing hunger-wise, as in things that, do you drink more water, or do you fill up your meals with a bit more vegetables? What do you do?
I've been struggling with the water intake, but then that's where I've been going, all right, if I'm hungry, I'm going to have some water instead. So just trying to push that to then increase my intake as well at the same time.
So just a note there, guys, as well, fat and fibre are your best friend through dieting period, especially like fibrous vegetables. Food that's high in fibre basically helps stop what we call gastric emptying, which is the easiest way I can explain that is that when you feel like you've had let's say a light chicken and salad meal, and then 10 minutes later you feel like you haven't even eaten. So fibre will help basically slow down the rate that meal gets digested and absorbed. and also fat. Fat's really important. So positioning wise, and especially like because we've got so much room to move still with Kel, with cardio and calories to be dropped, and she'll hate me when that time comes, that's where fat and fibre is going to be utilised as Kel's best friend, because that we've really got to make sure that we at least get Kel's hunger cravings under control to a certain extent, because they can definitely wreak havoc. Like someone like me through dieting, and if I don't have a definitive date or whatever it may be, if that rice cake and I'm in that frame of mind, that whole pack can go down very, very quickly. And there's what, 80, 100 grams of carbs right there.
Exactly.
So yeah, best thing about Kel's, we've got lots of room to move, but feedback wise, I'm always asking Kel how she's feeling, how she's sleeping, stress levels, hunger, because these are going to determine a lot of things as far as how, if we're going to take it from calories, if we're going to give her extra exercise, etc., and go from there. So feedback is very, very important. Training split, Kel, how are you finding lifting heavy things again? Going back to sort of more of our traditional style that, or not bodybuilding, but it's set out, it's periodized, it's not like circuit stuff or supersetting, it's more involved in trying to lift heavy things and perform better. Are you enjoying that
I'm
style?
really enjoying that style better.
Yeah.
Just focusing on that sort of one body part a session, 5 sessions a week.
Yep.
It's been good, and getting some personal
So
records
PBs
still.
again.
That's
So
great.
dieting, PBs are going up. I think a lot, how you feel and how you perform, and Kel, you know this one from the whole bodybuilding stage as well. How you feel some days and then going in and performing, it's worlds apart, would you agree?
Exactly, yeah.
So that's it.
Because once your energy levels are down, you just don't have that strength to lift as heavy.
Yeah. Okay, cardio. So we've got 4 15-minute misses or medium intensity steady state. It might be on the elliptical cycle, whatever it may be, and 2 30-minute cardios, which we're using as the swims.
Yep.
Now what we did, or Kel actually sprung on me as well, is that towards the end or close to the photo shoot, Kel's got the Noosa triathlon.
Yeah, I forgot about it myself. So
I love the comment though. She goes, "Well, at least I'll do it and I'll look bloody good while I'm doing it."
I'll have a tan and I'll be skinny.
But so that there's again where our cardio increases are going to come from rather than calorie drops. We're going to slowly start introducing the triathlon side, swim, bike, run, whatever it may be. So it's sort of it's going to be challenging and testing at times, but again, Kel's going in it for participation, and of course, you're not going in there to be a sloth, but that's definitely going to be very interesting as well. And then hopefully we can bring those calories up pretty quickly as well. So obviously we talked about the scales, but how are you feeling like starting to see these changes relatively quickly too? Because if you're seeing the changes in yourself, a lot of people are noticing it, and obviously Kel's got to get used to taking compliments a lot.
Yes, I'm not used to
which you
compliments.
are looking fantastic. But like all in all though, when I give you the feedback as far as your stats and everything like that, you're happy with the way things are going so far?
Yeah, no, definitely happy. I'm noticing little changes every day.
Yep.
That's what's keeping me in a good mind frame, and focusing forward still.
And there was a big goal with feeling comfortable in a crop top.
Yes, we'll get there.
So it's funny too, like you look at Kel and you think there would never be an issue whatsoever, but we all battle our own inner demons. I remember taking my shirt off and going to the beach was probably one of the most nerve-wracking things that I could have ever thought of back in the day, to where it's just nice to appreciate that side of things and be at a milestone where you're comfortable. Myself and Kel have both battled those sort of demons over the years as well, and I think you're always comparing yourself to when you're the most leanest as well. I'm the ultimate foodie, and Kel is very much so too, so it's a hard one trying to find that bit of balance there. I wanted to also talk about like food and social environments, and Kel and I had this really good chat just before about she got invited for some friends, and normally weekends are the best of times. Hard to get us out of the house as far as any sort of social environment. I had my social setting on the Friday, which was nice, and then Sunday I just didn't move, I was a sloth.
Yeah.
But for you, we had the social environment there, and so what did you do to make adjustments? So they had nibblies at the beach, went over to the pub and everything. So just sort of explain what your strategy was that day and what was going through your head as well.
Yeah, so I guess first thing in the morning I sort of calorie banked just in case I didn't know what was going to happen with lunch or what temptations might have been there. And then obviously at the beach for snacks I said no. I knew once I started it would be hard to stop. And then once we got to the pub setting, I knew that what I chose I could work within reason.
Yeah.
Give or take if it's correct.
I think again, with Kel's understanding of food and food knowledge, she'd be able to understand, like with a burger of her choice or whatever it may be, that meal. There's a difference between making a conscious choice of a meal that's relatively within your macros as to picking out entrees, pizza, drinks, and that for Kel, she kept everything within the guidelines, but it is so difficult, when you're trying to get to a goal. Let's say a photo shoot would be totally different if we were jumping on stage as such, but it's having that food knowledge, and as Kel said, calorie banking means, downing her calories at certain periods through the day so she can allocate them more on other times, and the same with dinner. But when you are looking to achieve a particular goal in a time frame, it really makes you realise how much food and alcohol are involved in pretty much every social setting. So has that sort of become a lot more?
Oh yeah, I noticed that and I felt guilty, but I thought what choices I'm making will still fit within the parameters. It's not something I would do closer to the photo shoot.
Yeah, I think all in all, Kel's just doing all the little things right and more consistently. I mean, there's no secret sauce. As soon as we made the decision, set some goals in place, all of these things started to fall in place rather quickly as well. So it's just, there'd be the difference there as far as having a few drinks, eating a few extra pieces of pizza, having an entree, as compared to what Kel did then. And at the end of the day too, Kel's not doing this to jump on stage. So, limiting or eliminating social environments and all those sort of things as a whole, it would be enough to send you insane.
Yeah.
And not only that, is that it's all about adherence. So if Kel feels like she's just totally isolated and never ever gets a chance, the one time that she gets exposed to it, it's going to be a whole different ballgame too. So that I found, especially when I was jumping on stage, I tried to be around every social environment that I possibly could, so I was used to sort of being around and involved food and alcohol while I was dieting, and people just got used to it, and they respect it. If your friends and family can't understand that, I mean, it's a very difficult one there. They should be supporting your health and fitness goals in particular. Any tips as far as tracking food, or anything that you can give as far as sort of the last few weeks that you've really sort of dialed in further, or you can give any advice in regards to that? I know obviously calorie banking, there's always ways around it, and you still progressed.
Yeah.
Kel went and had a burger on the weekend and still progressed and that sort of thing. I think just making those better choices when you're eating out. But is there anything sort of this last week to 3 weeks that you sort of want to give any advice or tips through as far as food or anything?
No, I think it's still just been obviously prepping all my food, and then I've just been experimenting with a few different flavours and ideas.
The zucchini noodles?
Zucchini noodles were actually quite tasty, I suppose myself. I'm not a huge vegetable fan, but just playing around with the different flavours and stuff. I'm the type of person that would get sick of eating the same thing all the time, so just trying to spice it up so then I don't get bored of one thing and go and eat something I shouldn't eat. So
yeah.
Yeah.
I think the change in food, it's nearly forces you to look at other creations or other food combos, and then expands your food library as such.
Yeah, and then when you actually find that they are quite tasty, I'm like, oh wow, that's a good meal I can eat all the time.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. So there we go. That's week number 3. It's going to be interesting. We've got Kel's official start weigh-in tomorrow, and pending how that is, and Kel's feedback will be dependent on what we do. More than likely at the moment it'll be exercise increase because of the Noosa triathlon as well.
Yeah.
And I think all in all, we've got to be happy with where we're at and the way things are going. Now it's time for upper body today, no legs.
No legs.
No legs. Over and out, guys. Photo shoot ready. Physique update number 3 with Kelly.